the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Big program lined up today. James Sullivan, creator, owner of Survivor Sweat, is going to be on the program in 90 minutes. I'll tell you the story about an entry selling for more than $130,000 yesterday, when the value of each entry now is at about $280,000. Mike Somich with his best bets in the NFL for the weekend. And in 15 minutes, Dennis Dodd, who has covered college football for a long time on the show, we will ask him who he thinks will win and should win the Heisman Trophy, although he gave up his Heisman vote 10 years ago. How about that?
Good for him.
We'll ask him about that and if he has any regrets about giving that Heisman vote up.
And a big move on Genty.
He's down to 8-1?
Yeah.
Kind of a decent move on the Rams, from plus 160 down to around even money, or even like minus 115, depending on which book you're looking at today to win the NFC West. You called this during the week, Paulie, and you were on the Rams to win the division. And that was a bizarre game last night where basically nothing happened. Brock Purdy was terrible. A player quit on the 49ers, legitimately quit, walked off, didn't want to play anymore. And the 49ers, their dreams of doing anything this year are completely dashed pretty much at this point. And you want to add more on the Rams to win their division?
Yep, absolutely. Think they beat the Jets, the listless Jets who can't stop anything. All of a sudden, it just, as McVay said, it's incredible. You can win a game 44-42, and then you're able to win a game like that. So I think Seattle's going to stumble here. And I'm very confident that the Rams will beat Seattle at home if the division's on the line. And I know that you're hating yourself as well. I had dinner last night at the Edge Steakhouse at the Westgate. And in the fourth quarter, watching the game, I said, I have to ask. What was it? Show me the sheet. What was no touchdown? And they were the highest anywhere at 400-1. You look at that all the time. We always look at it on the pregame. But if a total with that high, almost in the 50s, to think, okay, so what, it rains, big deal. But all that firepower and all those weapons out there, and that thing lands 12-6. Incredible if you cash that. There was only 3 bets. Jeff Benson was great yesterday, who works here at Circa, about we want boring football. We want drops, punts, nothing to happen. So then you say, well, we gave out 225-1 on no touchdown. 3 people bet it for a total of $11 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
Right. So here's why I hate myself. We are on for the additional hour every Monday and Thursday to preview the primetime games. And I'm telling you, like, it's now week 15, Paulie. So we've been on for, almost 30 times for that extra hour. How many games this year have we talked about, like, the no touchdown?
Yep.
Go back a week ago for the Packers and the Lions. The total was in the low 50s. I brought up, what do you guys make? Duds happen once in a while.
What would you need to bet it? Yeah.
It was 500-1 no touchdown. You laughed at me. I didn't bet it.
Yeah.
I can't even believe, not that I would have bet it last night. I'm not saying that. But the fact that I never even looked at various books to see what the no touchdown was pisses me off.
It was coming in, too. And Michael's referenced that Colt Bronco game where you had that run where you didn't have touchdowns in primetime games. So he had to sit through that. And that was where he was just pissing and moaning for the whole year because he was getting ugly games every Thursday night.
And here's what I will say. That is a very strong number over at the Westgate. Other books were offering like 180-1. 400-1.
There was an 85.
Okay, come on.
Come on. Absolutely.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, a 400-1 is worth a stab. I brought up 500-1 on Packers-Lions. Like, that's, like, right, we play that every single day during the show. You offer me 10,000-1 odds from the office on anything, I got to bet it. You offer me 400 or 500-1 on anything in the NFL, it's worth a consideration. But here's the deal. Because the game came in last night with no touchdowns and a super high total, you can forget about finding 400-1 probably on anything this week or maybe for the rest of the year. So don't force a bet thinking that this is going to happen over and over again at bad odds. Because it happened last night doesn't mean it's going to repeat at all in what is supposed to be a high-scoring game. Mm-hmm. And now that like a 400-1 was available and it's not going to be available, it's not a good idea to bet it, even if you're going to put pizza money on it.
Yeah.
Because 100-1 is not a fair number on a game that's going to have a total in the mid to high 40s.
It's going to be popular Sunday.
Yep.
And you're right. And no doubt about it. The biggest disappointment in football, it's not the Jets. They haven't made the playoffs 14 years in a row. It's these guys. And the window is closed, and they missed their chance. And this is just between the quitting, the Purdy interceptions. You lose a game you have to have. You score 6 points against a bad Rams defense. You couldn't get the rushing attack going. They can't stop the run. So between all the injuries and going back, and it bit you in the ass with all those games they blew early in the season, and then they couldn't recover, and they're not even going to make the playoffs.
I know it.
And it's disgrace. Disgrace.
How about that INT by him late in the game?
Where are you throwing the ball?
What are you doing?
Yeah, terrible.
What was that, man?
Terrible decision. And then you can't even get the Hail. Good job by the Rams, though, bringing pressure, but you couldn't even get the Hail Mary off.
And I got to be honest now. They have a big decision coming up in the offseason. I don't think you can give him $50 million a year.
Yeah, things have changed.
You can't give him the going rate. I can't imagine. Well, they've done dumb things before. They traded up and took Trey Lance.
Right.
But $50 million for Brock Purdy? I mean, I guess I can't be surprised because of what other quarterbacks have received in the NFL. But that is a monstrous decision that they're going to have on their hands here very soon. And also, a player basically said, I'm done. It was, for the 49ers, Devondre Campbell. And that doesn't happen very often. In fact, here's George Kittle after the game basically saying, this has never happened before.
Not disbelief or disconnection like as a team. That is one person who just decided not to, play for his teammates. And I don't think that doesn't make our offense look at each other and be like, wow, man, we're falling apart. It's more of or like the defense, hey, we're falling apart. It's more of a one person making like Mooney said, a selfish decision. And I'm with Mooney on that. And I've never been around anybody that's ever done that. And I hope I'm never around anybody that does that again.
And I'm guessing Campbell will never step foot again on another football field in his life.
Yeah. We all have bad moments, but you ruined your career.
It's done.
You can't come back from that.
No, you can't.
Like Ward said, we need you. We have guys hurt. I don't want to play. And walks off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Disaster. Unmitigated disaster in San Francisco.
I think you're right.
And a lot of it you point the finger at the head coach. How many double-digit games did they blow? How many big leads did they blow? How many kickers have to get hurt making a stupid tackle because you won't kick it out of the end zone? Stuff like that adds up.
Yep.
And that's why you lost games. Blocked field goals, missed field goals, guys hurt, blowing leads. Unacceptable. Ridiculous.
I think the front office has to evaluate things in the offseason.
Big time.
Not saying that they're going to can Kyle Shanahan. They have to have a major sit-down with him. And I truly do believe that their window is closed. They had a chance for 4 or 5 years in a row to win multiple Super Bowls. They could never get the job done. Blew 2 of them.
Right. And how about Debo? You give him
what
all
a
that?
drop. What a drop.
What a drop. Right. Walk-in touchdown. Piece of cake touchdown. Right? When I tweeted that 400-1 was available, well, Debo must have had a ticket. I mean, it's just, you complain, get me the ball. He has stunk this year.
Oh, yeah.
He has had 2 good games. So all that money get paid. Number one, you're always hurt. And then here, I need you in a must-win. You drop the ball wide open touchdown.
What do we make of McVay 75-1 Coach of the Year? Any chance?
Now, where is that? I see 20 at DK, 25. Well, where are you seeing?
I looked at ESPN Bet today.
Oh, you did?
75-1. Yeah, that was available. Can he win?
If they can run the table.
They were 1-4, Paul.
I know. It's an incredible job with how bad the defense was and the injuries, yes.
I remember we had the Mad Russian on.
That's right.
That's his moniker that he plays contests in out here in Las Vegas. He had a great breakdown of why he loved the Rams. Win total over. They started 1-4.
Yeah.
That ticket was dead. Dead.
Right.
And now they're even money or minus 115 in the neighborhood to win their division.
Yeah. They were huge dogs at home against the Niners. And that saved their season. And they also down 14-0 in that game, and McVay faked a punt that worked.
Oh, yeah.
And they came back to win. So if they can win this division, I mean, you start to look at this, and it's just Dan Campbell cannot be minus 175.
I know.
They were supposed to win the NFC or be right there. They blew it last year. They should have went to the Super Bowl. So I can come right back and say Kansas City had a ton of issues. It's Tomlin with what they have to see how they finish and close. Some tough games coming up. Harbaugh can't be priced at what he's at. Easy schedule. I mean, you start looking around that McDermott's out after what he did. But if the Chiefs keep winning, if the Rams keep winning, what happens with Pittsburgh? But yeah, he's got to be. He's got a strong case here.
Okay, I'll give you 2 other teams that at plus money right now they can absolutely win their division. 1, Minnesota, they're 5-1.
I think it's 7 here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Bears at Seahawks, Packers at Lions. Now, here's what the Lions have going, though. Bills this weekend, obviously, biggest game. At the Bears, at the 49ers. That game looked like it was going to be trouble. Forget this team's dead team walking.
Right.
And then they close with the Vikings. The other team would be the Ravens, plus 180 in that neighborhood. Huge favorites this week.
Yep.
They're 2 games behind Pittsburgh, and actually Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker, but they get them again. And if the Steelers lose this weekend and lose 2 in a row, each team would be 10-5, and then it's going to come down essentially to tiebreakers if they have the same record overall.
Yep, 220 is too high. 7-1 is too high on the Vikings.
That's worth a bet.
They can beat them.
Yeah.
If it comes down to that final game, they can beat them. It's a good observation. College football playoff betting guide out now. And we get ready a week from tonight with Notre Dame and Indiana. Previews every first-round matchup. Team capsules for the top squads with first-round buys. The playoff brackets and best bets from host and experts, power ratings from Steve Makinen, and the ultimate bonus, picks for every bowl game from Makinen and Brent Musburger. Sign up now, holiday special, get your copy of the guide, plus full VSiN Pro access, everything we do through May 1st, 2025 for just $79. Score big, get this deal, VSiN.com/subscribe, and there's a plethora of picks and props on all the college football playoff games. Get it now.
Yeah, it's a great guide. So many bets are up there and available right now when you go and get it. By the way, breaking news today, Kyle Tucker traded to the Chicago Cubs in Major League Baseball. And a report came out 20 seconds ago. The Yankees could have had him. They did not want to include Luis Gil in a trade for him.
Okay, but the Yankees did get Williams.
Yeah, huge. Closer from the Brewers.
Yes, right.
College football up next, Dennis Dodd, who has covered the sport for a long, long time. Who does he have winning the Heisman? And who does he like in the first round of the playoffs coming up here on Follow the Money? It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
The holidays are here, and so is the ultimate gift for every sports bettor, a VSiN Pro subscription. With VSiN Pro, you'll unlock expert picks sent to your inbox daily, access to exclusive betting splits, and 24/7 video coverage through the VSiN Watch app. Plus, betting guides and best bets for the college football playoffs, the Super Bowl, and March Madness. Lock in our holiday special, just $79 through May 1st. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe and join the Sports Betting Network.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Looking for some action? Our friends at First Bet have you covered. Sign up today to unlock exclusive promotions. Watch and wager on hundreds of exciting horse races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today.
We'll hit college football here as Dennis Dodd has done a great job covering the sport for many, many years. He's with CBS Sports, and he joins the program here on the Progressive Guest Line. Dennis, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Paul. How are you?
Doing really well.
Sir.
Really well. I want to ask you here in a couple of minutes who you think will and or should win the Heisman Trophy, but let's start here. You wrote a letter to the president of the Heisman Trust a good decade ago now explaining why you were going to give up your Heisman vote. Can you explain to the audience your decision back then, and do you regret it to this day, Dennis?
I don't regret it. It was, at the time, it was kind of arbitrary and came in midstream where, you had these votes and they were going to change it to the fact that if you write anything about your vote the week of the Heisman, you're subject to losing your vote. And I got a real nasty letter where someone had highlighted something I'd written and said, if you do this again, you'll lose your vote. And I got more and more worked up on it the more I thought about it. And I said, then fine, take my vote. And I wrote this open letter to the Heisman Trust president. I don't remember who it was at the time. Actually I won an award for it. I got a Football Writers Association award for writing about it. That's beside the point. I thought it was wrong on a couple of counts. It was, to me, it's censorship to do it then. Now it's a condition of getting a vote. You have to promise not to write about it, which I think is dumb, and that's why I do a straw poll every year and contacting voters anonymously for their vote. I think it serves the public good. The other thing is, if you're a business or you're selling something, do you not want people to talk about it? Mm-hmm. Maybe the Heisman is such an institution that they don't need the exposure. And it was almost a tradition for people to do straw polls and get as many voters as they could. And it still goes on. I'm not the only one who does this every year. But I just thought it did a service to the players and the game, and it doesn't hurt anybody. I think, and I've suspected this for a long time, I think ESPN did it to somehow, quote unquote, hype the suspense, and you guys know as well as anybody. In most years, I'd say 8 out of 10 years, we know by now who's going to win it. We know who's going to win tomorrow. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. So in doing so, it's just, I don't know. It's that just caught me. Again, as I said, now it's a condition of getting a vote. So these guys and girls agree not to do it. So fine.
So what did the straw poll say? Because in the last couple of weeks, Genty has gone from 20-1 down to 8-1 right now.
Yeah, this was all these were assembled in the last week, and it's Hunter by somewhat of a substantial margin. I can look it up. I think he got 76. There 29 votes, so not exactly a scientific poll. 3% of the voters, but I got that many. 76 points. And I think Genty was second with 67, and then Gabriel was third. And then it kind of went down from there. Bryson Daly got a couple of votes, by the way.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
and I suspect that's the order it'll be in.
Okay. And you would vote for Hunter? Yeah.
Yeah. I did a different part of that earlier in the week. I did, what my ballot would look like, and I had Hunter first. Earlier in the season, they'd asked me to do, since I've been around so long, that's another way of saying I'm old. So who are the 10 best players you've seen in person? Maybe not the 10 best, but the 10 best I've seen in person. And at that time, Barry Sanders was number 1. Travis Hunter was number 2. And this is I'm talking about decades of covering college football. I still can't fathom what he does at a high level, averaging 120 snaps over the last 2 years. That includes special teams. That includes penalties, offense, defense, and the human element. What it takes to play that many football plays is amazing to me. So he's high up there for me.
Dennis Dodd, our guest, national football writer, CBS Sports. On the Progressive Guest Line, follow the Money, Paulie and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I know you tweeted about it a lot. Can't wait for tomorrow. Army, Navy always lives up to the hype, but you have an 11-win team against an 8-win team, and the Army team that just took out Tulane, and how good Daly's been. What do you think? What is your prediction of what happens tomorrow with Army, Navy?
I suspect Army will win, but as is the case with this game, the result is almost secondary to the spectacle. And I would urge anyone who hasn't gone, who loves college football, to try to go once in your lifetime, because it's everything they tell you about it and more. I got to go in 21, the first game back from COVID, and it was incredible just to go down on the sidelines before the game and see the march on and see all the dignitaries, and see when Army came out of the tunnel, and I'm standing in one end zone at MetLife, and the Navy cadets are yelling and pointing and cussing at them like it was the Iron Bowl. I mean, you could not believe the things were coming out of their mouths, and vice versa, Army versus Navy. And that to me told me it doesn't matter what the records are. There's a big rivalry here. They hate each other, but there's a larger, thing in place here where they both work for the same goal in serving the country. But it was really, really cool.
You've been doing this a long time. Where does Belichick going to North Carolina rank on the shock surprise factor angle?
Yeah, pretty big. There's so many kind of irons and tentacles to this and the fire to discuss. But I think the fact that, and now it's come out that the AD, Bubba Cunningham, was cut out of it. He wanted someone, a college guy, someone younger, a John Sumrall at Tulane. If not him, then Glenn Schumann, coordinator at Georgia. Even Tommy Rees, the tight ends coach at the Cleveland Browns, was on his list.
Yeah.
But he was cut out of this at the end. The chancellor at North Carolina, the board of governors, board of trustees, wanted or were talked into taking Bill Belichick. And, for better or worse, can he do this in this climate? Absolutely. We've now seen it's possible pretty quickly. Kurt Signetti at Indiana, Dion, Lane Kiffin have turned around programs pretty quickly. It can be done, but this guy has never coached in college. We'll see how he manages 18-year-olds when their parents come in wanting more NIL money. It's not a balanced locker room right now in college, whereas in the pros, you've got slotted draft structures. Everybody knows what everybody makes, and that's what they deserve. That's where they got drafted. If you get a second contract, you're more respected in the locker room because you've proved yourself. In every locker room in the country, we've now got freshmen coming in making more than accomplished seniors. How do you think that works out in some of those locker rooms? Mm-hmm. It worked with the Patriots because he's really hard to work for. It worked with the Patriots because they won. And we'll see if it works with North Carolina. The other thing is, I think we know where this is headed because we've seen this clause in Bill's contract where his buyout goes down to $1 million on July 1st. I think that tells you if there's an NFL job available after next season, not this season, after next season, he's out of there. He's trying to get his son, Steve, to be the coach in waiting. So everybody goes into this with their eyes open. It's all there in the contract, so we'll see.
Great answer. Dennis, we have like 90 seconds left here. In all of these first-round matchups that we have in the playoffs, every favorite is, favored by more than a touchdown. Do you give a team an underdog or multiple dogs a puncher's chance to be in it late and potentially win?
I'll answer it a different way. The most fascinating game to me is Tennessee, Ohio State, because Ohio State is a very fragile program right now, even though they're favored by a good amount against Tennessee. I don't have to tell you why. Michigan, everything else. If on the second series of the game, coming off the Michigan game, if they are bogged down, you will hear them being booed in their home stadium because they were against Michigan.
Yes.
And how does that affect the team? How does that affect Ryan Day? Can he keep his job? The AD came out yesterday and said he's definitely going to be the coach in August for the next season. But that's his decision. What about Ryan Day's decision to stay on as coach? So that one's got the most intrigue for me.
Yep, I would totally agree. You can follow Dennis on X. He's at Dennis.cbs, and obviously read him at cbssports.com as well. Dennis, that was awesome. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate that.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
That'd be good. There you go. He joined us on the Progressive guest line. So he couldn't stand it, that you don't want us to promote and talk about the Heisman Trophy. We can't write about it. We can't talk about it. Okay, here's my vote. I'm not going to do it anymore. I totally get where he's coming from.
Yeah. Yep. Also, Tim Murray, because we were talking with Tim Murray on the show yesterday, and once we got through the press conference and then the contract leaked out, then you saw the buyout, the buyout went down to.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, boy.
All right, don't sleep on this coach as a home favorite. 16-2 straight up and 12 covers ATS since 2021. I'll give you the coach next.
They're off.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, here we go. I love this slate in the NFL this weekend, specifically the late games.
Fire.
You want to call? Okay, so with the Bills having wrapped up the division 2 weeks ago and now losing last week, getting the 1 seed is going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Kansas City, a big favorite now to grab the 1.
Right. So I wanted to call this game the biggest game of the year. I don't know if I can now.
Fair. But also, Kansas City can stub their toe here. Bills have the tiebreaker. Bills should, if they win this game, could run the table. You get the Patriots twice and then the Jets in there too. So that's in play. But I don't like the spot. I much rather have Detroit off extended rest here. And then can you stop anything if you're Buffalo and cause for concern with the defense? And then are you really going to put Allen through that where he has to be Superman again? So I prefer the spot for Detroit. But then again,
it's a much better spot for Detroit.
Then again, I'll tell you, damn it, look at the line. It happened again last night.
I know.
Being in all these contests, and these 2.5s never, it's always the dog. Always. They're telling you. Not going to 3. Not going to do it. Begging you to take the favorite. Don't win the game.
Well, I don't like, so when I did the look-ahead lines last week at VSiN.com, the Lions were absolutely a play for me, and I wrote, it's a horrible spot for Buffalo because they're going to go from playing Sunday night in the snow to, against the 49ers. They clinch the division. Then they go and, they traveled out west to play in Los Angeles in a late game. I thought that they were going to win that game. But there was a letdown, and they couldn't recover with the bad defensive performance. Had the Bills won the game last week, I would love Detroit here. Love them because of the extended rest, and I can promise you this. We are going to get borderline A-plus play calling from Ben Johnson in this game from the Lions. We might see like a masterclass from him on Sunday.
Okay.
Because, again, give this guy, a little bit of extra time to get ready, and he's already one of the best in football. You're seeing the good stuff from Detroit in this game. I got news for you.
Yep. I just don't see where stops are coming either. I mean, Buffalo cracked 30 points, 7 games in a row, 11-2 overrun. And Detroit, 85% chance to get the 1 seed. Enormous for them. Hold off Minnesota. An imperative you get the 1 as well. But again, doing this every single week, unlike Kansas City, though, not cashing tickets and what they've done ATS first half as well to do this. And week in, week out. So this is also big, not only for Coach of the Year, but also MVP. But the last 3 years, the Lions are 37-12-1 ATS in the first half. And against teams above 500, a 23-7 ATS run.
Yeah.
They have delivered time and time again in this spot, and it's been an insane run under Dan Campbell ATS.
Yeah, and at home, that number is 22-8-1 ATS since 2021.
Yeah.
That is 73+%. So where will the Bills be able to exploit the Lions defense? Because that's, it's shaky. The Lions overall, they allow 89 yards per game to wide receiver number 1. Well, figure that out in the Bills. Who's their number 1 wide receiver? Is it Cooper? Is it Shakir? Is it Coleman who's going to be healthy?
Well, I don't trust Coleman. I think it's Shakir, the guy that goes off.
That's who I would look at as well.
Right.
On the flip side, the Bills are 27th in DVOA against wide receiver number 1. Hello, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They are 29th against wide receiver number 2. And don't forget that for a good, month to 6 weeks to begin the year, they were the worst team with a bullet at guarding running backs in the air. That has improved to now middle of the pack. David Montgomery's receiving prop this week is as low as 15.5. Generally, it's not that high, but he's gone over that number 10 times already this year. Gibbs is 22.5. I want to make the case for him, but I haven't bet it yet, so I can't get there. But here's potentially your big boy, Paulie, and this number's on the rise.
As it should.
Quarterback rushing yards against the Lions this year when you look at mobile quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson had 61. Kyler Murray had 45. Caleb Williams had 39. Even Sam Darnold had 39 yards rushing. Geno Smith, 38. Baker Mayfield had 34. Mason Rudolph, 29. Jordan Love had 23. Earlier today, Josh Allen was 35.5 at one national book. Kiss it goodbye. He's gone over that number 6 times this year.
Yeah, love him over here. It's not just this year. It's a long time where Campbell just cannot contain rushing quarterbacks.
Do you want to do ladder bets with him? How you want to go 50 and just stay right there, or do you want to go? He had 80 last week.
I know. Yes, you can go higher than that.
50, 60.
He could get 30 on one run.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably bet 50 plus at like plus 125 or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you like anybody to win the game outright?
I like the Lions in this game, even though the 2.5 scares me. But also, don't you think the total should be higher?
Well, it's been moving.
I mean, this should be, I know, but I was talking to one guy who made it 57.5.
Oh, wow, okay.
When you think what happened, the other thing is get your special teams cleaned up. You know, there was a good breakdown on ESPN.com that they expect Detroit to block a punt in this game again.
Oh, okay.
Just because how bad the Bills have been trying to get, maybe they don't even punt, though. That's another thing. But that killed them, and big reason why they lost the game against the Rams last week as well. So maybe if they also can't get stops, are they playing catch-up and playing from behind, too?
Let me give you this.
Because that was unacceptable what transpired. You think McDermott's got to coach them up after what the Rams did. It was embarrassing.
Lions win 33-17. Goff is awesome. Can he win the MVP?
What does Allen do?
He's mediocre at best.
Okay, not enough, though. No,
it's not enough?
No, especially if Allen closes strong, and he should. A couple games against the Patriots and the Jets, I think he's a $4 favorite for a reason. What does Barkley do? His prop is 100.5 in some spots.
Guess how many running backs have gone over 100 yards against Pittsburgh this year?
0.
1. And you'll never guess who it was. You'll never guess. Out of every running back they have faced, and they played some good ones, it was Tracy for the Giants, and he went for $145.
Wow.
Only 2 other running backs have even broken 80 yards against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I just think because of the Houston game, he's out of the running. What happened? And then Allen, to play like this, when no one expected this from Buffalo, it was all Jets and Dolphins hype.
Yeah.
They won the division, and in the loss, he was 6 touchdowns, which hadn't happened before in NFL history. So I just think it's either Barkley or Allen at this point.
All right. I've known you for a long time. Knowing you like I think I know you, and I specifically did not ask you about this before the show because I wanted to get it live on the air. You've bet the Steelers already, haven't you?
I didn't touch the game, no.
Yeah, damn it. I thought for sure you were going to have a bet on
I like them, but it's not.
So do I, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it's the perfect spot for Mike Tomlin.
No, they've lost 10 in a row there.
Well, but how often do they play there?
Yeah, it's fair. But is it the I wear every game as a dog?
That's a big part of it, yes.
Right. Well, number one, it's A.J. Brown over. We're going to do this again. All right? So I'm going to complain. I'm going to use the media. I want the ball. It's got to be a big A.J. Brown game.
Yeah.
He's 80.5, so he's going to go off. We're not going to have Pickens. That's big. But in top 5 against the run, and then Philly's last in attempts and last in passing, 31st in passing yards. So it's a big game for Hurts. And we'll see if they can get Brown involved in what they do. Do they contain Barkley? I don't know. It's certainly a ridiculous prop, as we just talked about. The one is a 98.5 at DraftKings.
I could only go under that.
Yeah. Here's where I'm at, though. And I'm big, especially late in the season. Who takes care of the ball? Who's careless? You look at this matchup, Pittsburgh's got a big edge of taking care of the ball in the turnover differential. I think it's plus 15 if Luke wants to double-check my work. So if I'm coming in and I'm plus 15 in that battle, knowing that I take care of the ball and you give it away and you're careless, I have a big edge there, I think. I also have a coaching edge as well. Because, again, Sirianni, and we talked to Sal Pell Wednesday, you got a guy who can't make a 50-yard field goal. What are you doing? Why is he on the roster? It almost cost you the Carolina game. It's a 52-yard field goal. Mm-hmm. You make it, you go up 8. He takes a delay of game, he punts. It almost gets him beat. So, I
got it right
Steelers
here.
plus 7. Is that what it is?
They are tied for first overall in turnover differential with the Buffalo Bills. Both teams are plus 17. Philadelphia, they are plus 4.
Okay, I got an edge there too.
Plus 17 is outstanding.
And I have an edge in the Buffalo game. Okay, so but that's enormous here in this one. So
okay, so here's what Tomlin,
yep.
For the record, 30-19 straight up, 35-12 ATS, couple pushes in there, as a single-digit underdog. But I'll throw this at you, and I teased this before the break. People sleep on this angle. Nick Sirianni is 16-2 straight up, 12 covers, as a single-digit home favorite since 2021. And Jalen Hurts has been awesome at home. But I like Pittsburgh. This number 6. It's 6.
He should be Sunday. Now, this is incredible, these games, right?
Yeah.
This is great, and this is awesome. Jan Sanity. Don't just watch the college football playoff. Get in on the action with the VSiN Road to Jan Sanity contest. Your football handicapping skills could win you $5,000. It's absolutely free to enter. Your challenge? Pick the games against the spread for every round. The contestant with the most points after the title game wins $5,000. Head to vsin.com/JanSanity for the rules and register. The deadline is Thursday, December 19th. Visit VSiN.com/JanSanity and let the Jansanity begin. Free to play, $5,000 prize. Pick games against the spread before each round. You'll end up making 11 picks. Each game is weighted differently by VSiN to add to the challenge. Picks due 30 minutes before kickoff of first round of each game. Registration opens today. The deadline Thursday, December 19th. Beyond the $5,000, we found a VSiN host through our first contest back in 2017. So you never know. Get in there now and also get the playoff guide. VSiN.com/JanSanity, $5,000. Let's see.
What a contest. Go sign up and tell your friends about that today. Up next, win, lose, and this team is on an incredible 24-4 run in this spot since 2020. Details on that next.
Got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Incredible tickets cashed last night. No touchdown at the Westgate, 400-1 at Circa, 225-1. Only 3 people bet it. Stafford, 0 touchdown passes, 5-1. Likewise, Purdy. Alt under 42.5 plus 225. Rams alt line minus 3.5 plus 220. Williams to have 100 yards plus 260. 6 points out of the Niners, and they score on their opening drive.
Yeah. By the way, I know I brought this up. I had to put it into the universe. I said yesterday on the air, I think it's going to catch up with me by betting all of these positive outcomes as player props.
Yeah.
Well, it got me good last night.
Yeah,
I'm that way too. Real good.
I'm that way too.
But that's why, like, you'll talk to pro bettors and you want to try, because the fantasy community will push these player props up every single game, and that's when you want to come in late and bet these unders. And I'm bad at detecting which players are going to have awful games compared to their number.
Sure. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send it in. We'll put you on. I never thought about this. Sure. It's a montage. We need a montage of cats all over wrecking the Christmas trees.
America. Bleep,
right.
Yeah.
Look at this. Coming in. He jumps up there. Oh, timber. The tree comes down. The cat's stuck in the tree. Here they're climbing in. Oh, no. All that work goes into putting up the tree and the decorations. And then these guys, I don't trust cats, can't get there. And then they just come in and they're in the middle of it. They bring it down. They climb it up the damn thing. This guy's up in the tippy top hanging up. Oh, boy. Yeah. What an incredible montage of cats.
Look at them.
Wrecking the Christmas tree over the year and bringing it down. And it starts with fire right off the bat.
No, look at this.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's going to start the house on fire,
sure.
Speaking of that.
Absolutely.
By the way, I took a stroll down Fremont Street today, middle here, downtown Vegas. A beautiful, it must be 100 feet tall if it's a foot, a Christmas tree right in the middle over by the D.
Oh, sure.
Huh?
Good. Yeah.
I got to go back and watch Christmas Vacation. That's Paul Charchian's all-time worst take. Hates the movie.
Yeah, Space Cadet take, no doubt about it. How about the dog reunited with his toys? We're in a good run here with the toys. Look at this. He just jumps in the pile of toys. You can't even find him. It's like when E.T.'s in the back. We got the dated reference. Okay, it still works. Look at the dog. Peekaboo. You can't even find him. He's got a bucket of toys, and he's sleeping. He goes all under the toys that it's just he can't get enough of it. An incredible 3-week run on this show with the dogs and the toys. The guy going out on the porch. He wants the dog with the toy dinosaur going outside. And
that was a really good one. Trying to find the sun.
Yeah. This guy just hanging out. Reunited with all his toys and wants to sleep with all of them. Okay.
Comfort zone.
Yeah, a couple bad beats last night. Scoreless quarter, 5-1. 12-6 final, no touchdowns, can't cash that.
Hold on.
Didn't get there.
That didn't get there?
We didn't have a scoreless quarter. No. Kittle, most receiving, 5-1. Puka, late 51-yard bomb, gets
right.
there.
That's right.
And multiple books said no action if you bet longest touchdown under. But it's no touchdown. Why said void? I don't get that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. If you bet longest touchdown under 42.5 yards, it was a no action.
No, that's an automatic winner.
I know. That's what I say.
Oh, that's a horrible job.
Several people sent me the tickets.
Oh, they got to clean that up.
That's a winner.
That absolutely is a winner.
That's a winner. Ready to elevate your tail game? Try Sewell's. Born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavor. Born on the bayou. These guys are from California. Ridiculous. Phonies. Sewell's, I'm talking about Clearance Clearwater Revival.
You may want to clean that one up.
Clearance Clearwater Revival, yeah, sorry. Sewell's has become a southern favorite, lighting up taste buds from Georgia to the Carolinas, ribs and wings to a backyard burger. Sewell's takes every bite to the next level. Order online, Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com. Southern hospitality never tasted so good. Welcome aboard. We love you. Sewell's Barbecue Sauce, the real deal and a southern favorite.
Yeah. Paulie, use phony in a sentence in a good way. Man, that Michael Jordan's so phony. All right, some more games in the NFL this week. This is one of your favorite angles. I got to bring this up. So Ravens are playing at the Giants. Their team total is 12.5. The Giants. Okay, so here's the deal on this and the angle that you like to play. The Giants are 24-4 under the total at home since the pandemic year. They've played 28 games. They're 20 games over 500.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep. This is an all-timer here. I mean, to think you got to go back 50 years when you're a dog like this and you've lost 7 in a row at home. I can't get involved with the total because of the Baltimore firepower. I do love Henry rushing yards over.
Do you like him more than Jackson?
Rushing yards?
I mean,
Yes.
the breakdown from Chernoff earlier this week. Mom calls him out. Bye week. Let's clean it up a little bit here, boys.
It's why are you going to bother to run if it's 21-0? The Giants are allowing 4.9 yards per carry, second worst. Baltimore 5.7 yards per carry, second best since 1963. It's all about Henry here, and Henry goes off in this game, and you can ladder him. Hard to get involved with the total just because of the blowout factor. And I know Tommy Cutlets is terrible, and they can't block anybody. But if Baltimore gets theirs and they still have issues against the pass, maybe there's some garbage time for neighbors and something like that. So it's just nuts to see a point spread like this, where a team on the road is laying this. And again, you got to go back 50-plus years when the Giants have been a dog of 14 or more.
In theory, it should be a good game for Malik Neighbors because he's so good. And the Ravens are the worst team in the National Football League against covering wide receiver number ones, and they allow 100 yards per game to the position. Can Cutlets get him the ball?
Probably not. And can't block up front, too. So bring pressure, and that'll do it. Also, if something happens to him, it looks like Tim Boyle's the backup. So good luck with that. And we're at the stage of the season. Don't even bother to win. Lock in the number 1 pick, and don't screw this up by winning a game.
Yeah.
But Baltimore has lost to the Raiders and Browns. So I'm not saying they're going to lose, but that's a lot of points to lay.
Yeah, I'll give you some numbers here on the Panthers-Cowboys game. First time favored for Carolina in like 30-plus games. So they are 16-32 ATS as a favorite since 2016. They're not good in this role. They haven't been good in any role. But specifically when they're favored, and it's rare, they're 16 games below 500. Meanwhile, tip of the cap to Mike McCarthy. For what it's worth, he is 14-1 straight up and 12-3 ATS last 15 against teams that are, well, to break it down, Steve Makinen, when the opposing team is being outscored by 4.5 points per game or more on the season, so bad teams in general, McCarthy has thrived in these spots. And Carolina's been taking money all week.
Yeah, I'd be careful. I'm on the over here, and first half over. Carolina 11-1-1 to the over this year, first half. And again, you got to look at Adam Thielen props. Kid's been great. So I think he'll go over, and you can ladder Thielen. I
think the over is the play. I'm with you.
I agree with Charge, too, what he recommended with Dowdle and Hubbard on the ground.
Well, that's the thing. We can't forget about this. The Panthers are absolutely atrocious at stopping the run.
Yes.
And Dowdle, by the way, looked really good Monday night against the Bengals, and he has now for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I can't do this where you haven't been favored in this long, and now you're taking money. But certainly the comeback is how Dallas lost. You're going to win the game. You're still alive for the playoffs. Again, fire, get away from it. And then you blow it, and now it's just a devastating loss, and we'll see how they bounce back. But I just think it's a demoralizing loss, and they know the season's over. Tough game, but I just take points.
Yeah, I'd take the 3.
All right, fine.
I would take it. But I like the over more than anything. Gun to my head.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Buccaneers-Chargers, another, by the way, I think very attractive late game on Sunday. The late schedule again. Just tell the wife or the girlfriend, the phone's not getting answered on Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what to do. Make plans, do it accordingly, and for a good 3.5-hour window, you need to watch these games. Chargers are 3. Total is 45.5. Tampa Bay is 25-8 over as a single-digit road underdog. Todd Bowles 12-5 over the total versus teams with a better record since 2017. I want to get involved with some player props in this game, but they're not available yet because we have so much uncertainty in some of these games with injuries right now that books are really being careful about posting player props. And it's now almost 5 o'clock on the East Coast on Friday.
So I want Herbert not to throw an interception. Can't find it. He's thrown 1 on the season. I want Herbert rushing yards under because of the ankle. And we did talk to our guy, Mr. Duarte, who's NBC in Los Angeles, who covers the Rams and the Chargers. And he'll be at the game next week, that he thinks Herbert's okay. But here's my angle. Chargers are plus 13. When you combine, the Chargers are plus 11 in the turnover battle. Tampa's minus 2.
Oh, Mayfield and company, they got to clean it up.
He made some horrible throws and turning the ball over. So I like the Chargers in this one. And I think Mayfield will make some mistakes, as he continues to do. Horrible throws against the Raiders.
If the Chargers lose this game, is it squeaky bum time for the playoffs?
No, they're still comfortable.
I know they got the Raiders left. That's the final game of the year.
Well, I think they'll beat Denver, but if I think they'd be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tell you what, if they lose this game, their win total suddenly becomes squeaky bum time because that was 9, and if they would lose to Denver, okay. Up next, more games on Sunday. Some coaches are really good in the underdog role. Others are the exact opposite. This dude is 1-10 straight up. I'll give you the name next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy really